Thank y'all for putting yourselves out there for public office. We'll follow the same pattern as the last time, same rules, alternate questions, and then we already started. We received a couple of audience questions that we'll get to. Question during this, raise your hand and we'll get a card to you. We'll go ahead and start with Mr. Ward, and then we'll go to Ms. Bevers and alternate back off. 90 seconds, introduce yourselves and tell the audience a little bit about you.
Thank the Barrow Chamber of Commerce for putting this event on. For you, Mr. Ashley, for Raleigh for your work in timekeeping. Obviously, I think this is an important public to understand who their candidates are. I moved to Barrow County 4 years ago. All the growth that we're experiencing, we are the third fastest growing county in the state by some measures. I jumped into this race when I had an opportunity, jumped into the special election that allowed me to be as the District 4 County Commissioner because I saw all that growth and so I wanted to make sure that we were bringing policies into the Board of Commission that help growth continue to move forward in a smart and responsible manner. So that's why I did the election, and that's why I'm now running for a full 4-year term to continue to serve the people of in District 4.
Thank you. Same question. Just introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Judy Bevers. I've been for 15 years. I've been a Georgia native, born and raised here. I have a very large family. I've raised 11 children. I have a lot of 63 years old, and looking forward to helping Barrow County. I think life experiences has a lot to do with elected officials, whether it be the school board or anything else, because experiences, it would be very hard to beat. That's my philosophy.
Thank you, and hand it back to Mr. Ward, and we'll get the first question. What are your thoughts on the Barrow County Use Plan, and what, if any, changes would you like to see?
Question. So the Board of Commissions just approved moving forward with that comprehensive plan. So that is soliciting feedback from stakeholders. And so the first thing that I want to make sure that to that feedback that we receive. But one of the things that I really want to see us focus on comprehensive plan is a focus on innovation corridors in industrial. Barrow County right now is very heavy on the residential tax base. And the household is a net tax consumer. They use more tax dollars than they're going to system. Whereas businesses and industrial facilities, so in order to help balance that off and take some of that burden off of our residential household, bring more industry into Barrow County, we need to find a better balance compared to neighboring counties currently have. So to do that, we need to make sure that our includes strong industrial corridors that focus on bringing in more areas and not bringing in so much more residential.
Ms. Bevers, same question. What are your thoughts on the Barrow County Comprehensive Land Use Plan, and what, if any, changes would you like to see?
Well, the plan is very, very good. It helps the growth. I started out when it was nothing but woods there 40 years ago. So I've seen too fast. I've seen all kinds of problems happen with that. So, or in that capacity, needs to have a clear picture of how to help the situation when it gets a little overloaded. I noticed of subdivisions coming up. And with that, you have lots of problems. So planners to help, foresee the future, a good plan, then, well, you've seen the traffic here in Winder. Without a good plan, that could happen all over again. So, I think you, have that in place and, support those people, come to the meetings and, if you're in Barrow County, have an input.
All right, thank you. Ms. Beavers, you can keep the microphone and ask. I'm having some microphone problem too. So obviously, we all know Barrow County has great people living here, but besides the greatest assets that Barrow County has to get ahead economically, communities that are also seeing rapid growth.
Well, question, because economically, everybody suffered with all the pandemics, everything that's happened to us. We're the same as the rest of the counties. We're all suffering. Band together and try to figure it out. The funding, the state funding, as long as we keep a clear picture of where we're going and how we're going to get there. And we do have some of the greatest people here in Barrow County. So that's our greatest children. We need to really focus on they're going to be our future leaders. So we really have, and it's very, very important that we get people elected who are and can help us with that.
Mr. Ward, same question. Obviously, Barrow County, the people, what's the greatest asset that we have to get ahead economically?
Well, you're absolutely right that we do have great people here in Barrow County. And that our folks are actually helping to make Barrow County economic, help us to get ahead, is through the work that our economic development team has continued to do. Candidate forum for Board of Ed, they actually mentioned the CTAE, the culture education. Barrow County is school system is one of received the economic development designation, and that is something that the local businesses, as well as our economic development team that falls up underneath the board. That is what helps us to bring more business in. That is what shows that we're committed to our industries and committed to those industries that are coming here to Barrow County. Continue to push those ideas forward. I want to see us lean on our economic development team for diversified industries to Barrow County, and that is what's going to continue to help us area economically and continue to lead to us being one of the fastest growing counties, smart and responsibly by bringing in industry.
Mr. Ward, you keep the microphone. We just talked about is appropriate. What is your vision for managing the growth and mixes are not overwhelmed?
So one of the from the Board of Commissioners is we actually just approved hiring a with us on the implementation of impact fees. Those who are already here to pay for the new growth. So impact fees, that's one of the ways that we can help to fund the infrastructure growth and offset the new growth to make sure that we're able to continue to provide service. One of the other issues that we've had lately, though, is there's been a significant increase in the amount of annexation that's being done by the city of Winder. And every time the city of Winder annexes a new parcel, the county loses fire tax money. That has been starting to hamper fire department. So one of the things that I would really, in the next couple of years, is setting fixed fire districts. Does not continue to lose that tax money that is that we rely on to help fund.
Okay, Ms. Bevers, same question. Is your vision for managing the growth of the county so public services are not overwhelmed?
One person can manage anything. I think that we all have to work together to find solutions. Problems come up, which is normal. All counties have them. Gwinnett County, this is growing counties now look at it, but you just got to work together, and you'll have problems as we go along. But like Mr. Ward was saying about consulting, that would help too. I don't think it's going to be a big problem out there, and too many counties have already been through this, and we're just get through it just fine.
All right, thank you. We have a few questions from the audience that we're going to get to before we closing session, or our closing question, rather. So these are audience questions. Ms. Bevers, you can keep the microphone and answer this first one first, and we'll rotate back. If has any other questions, just raise your hand and get your card to Tommy. But the school board raise, so y'all are doing a great job too. They want to hear from you. So the first question: if elected, how can you help the board collaboratively with the other government entities in Barrow County?
Again, I think that life experiences being, I have a business, I would know a lot about the land use and how to use it, and to use the tax money effectively. It has to do with what you've experienced in your life and how you help Barrow County with that experience, and which I'm more than happy to help the county. Barrow County is a wonderful place to live, and now I'm raising grandchildren here, so I definitely want to be on the scene to try to make sure things.
Thank you. Mr. Ward, same question. If elected, board and commission work collaboratively with the other government entities in Barrow County?
Well, I appreciate that question. It's vital that we are able to communicate with other government entities that affect Barrow County, and it's more than just the county and other cities, but it's also our Board of Education, and I mentioned the CTAE. It's also working with our state representatives and our congressional. I've worked hard over the last 7 months to make sure that I've started with different city council members so that we can talk with them. I've worked with our candidates and hopefully that will be representing us under the Gold Dome in Atlanta. Is that we need to be done have to go through local legislation, and in order for us, we have to have a good working relationship with our members under the Gold Dome, all other government entities that directly impact Barrow County, and so it comes back and building that relationship. And my experience as an attorney and now as a licensed help us to be able to better communicate with those other government officials.
Thank you. And you can keep on. This next, what are some ways that you have been in District 4, but Barrow County as a whole in the past 18 months?
I appreciate that question. I am actually currently part of which is sponsored by the Chamber, and that has been a great experience so far. In just 3 programs that we've done, we did a team building Camp Twin Lakes, which is at Fort Yargo. Our second experience is Principals for the Day, and I was honored to be over at Olson Beck Elementary, spend time with their students and their principal. And then just this past week, we included visiting with a lot of nonprofits there here at the Wimberley Center. And so that has been a great way that I've enjoyed. I've also spent quite a bit of time meeting with the principals of all 4, as well as spending time with our department heads. I've gone out, I've gotten to do some training with the fire department, got to suit up and go to the along with the sheriff's department, right along with the animal control department, and just being out there and understanding exactly what our partners need and what is one of the ways that I've really been able to connect to Barrow County.
Thank you. Ms. Peppers, same question. What are some ways that you District 4, but Barrow County as a whole in the past 18 months?
Well, Barrow County, my greatest accomplishment would be involved in church. That and my children and my grandchildren, which they take up a lot of time. But other than that, I just retired, so I haven't all the functions that I could eventually get into. Church would be the greatest #1 asset, and everything else will follow.
Thank you. Next audience question is about economic development. Industry seems to be concentrated in what ideas do you have to encourage industry in Bethlehem? And that's for you.
I'm not too sure why I stayed in Bethlehem. Since I live in Winder, I'm not as familiar as everybody that lives there would be. So, if I'm the right person to answer that question, since you're asking him.
Mr. Ward, same question about ideas to encourage other parts of the county other than Winder and Auburn.
So a lot of that we might see a change in that with the new comprehensive plan. Right now, and most of Statham is actually considered rural reserve. So it forestalls a lot of industrial development in that area. Highway 53, we actually have 2 parts that the county invests 3 south and part 53 north that do start moving more east, closer to Bethlehem and the Statham area. That we part 53 is completely filled. We have some projects working through our economic, the north side of 53. But again, the potentially change when our comprehensive plan changes. Right now, limits that industrial growth, especially in the Statham area. And so, what's feedback from the stakeholders in that area is if we see that those areas are industrial growth, then we can modify and update our comprehensive plan with renewal that would allow for industrial growth in those areas.
All right. And now this will be our last question, and it'll just be same last place. And you keep the microphone, and then Ms. Bevers, you can close us out. But why do you feel like you're the best candidate for the office?
I appreciate that question. Once again, the committee, the Fairfax Chamber of Commerce, obviously this is a lot for you guys to put on, and putting yourself out is a lot. I feel that I'm the best for this position because for just 7 short months, and already in that short period of time, we've seen several. Our planning commission, our planning board, our planning department now has stuff is done online. It used to be, if you want a business license, you had to go in office business license application. It's now done online. We've just approved a new website that hopefully getting rolled out here in the next couple of months. And those types of innovations to recognize that growth is happening, expand our capacity to, but it keeps costs down. So we're able to continue to implement things great like we did this past budget cycle that started July 1, allowing that growth to happen. So in closing, my experience, my ability to already get things done, and the relationships that I've already built, as well as local county leaders and other government officials, is what makes me the best suited for this position.
And Ms. Bevers, close us out. What are the best candidate for this office?
Well, I don't want to say, but Alex is a fine gentleman, and he's doing a fine job. I will say this, just as good a job, if not better. But I would use my experiences, and to also to help any problems that we encounter. Closing, he's been in there 7 months, so he's going to have more information than I do. But I'm a fast learner, so I think that would be a good add by